I still remember the dust of that day, the way it clung to my skin, the way it clouded my breath, and the way it seemed to whisper that death was near. The streets of Hollow Creek were lined with men in long coats and hard eyes, pistols drawn, ready to end us both. And there I sat, my dress torn and stained with blood, in an old wooden wheelchair that creaked beneath me. My sister stood behind me, steady as a mountain, her pistol raised at the crowd that would gladly see us gone. That was the day the world held its breath, our last stand, two sisters against the weight of betrayal, loyalty, and a town that had already chosen its side. Part 1, The Hook and Setup. I wasn't always the broken woman in that chair. Once, I was as free as the wind across the prairie. My sister Clara and I grew up under the wide Wyoming sky, daughters of a rancher who taught us how to ride, shoot, and survive in a land that didn't show mercy. I was the elder, the dreamer. Clara, she was the fire. If I found beauty in the sunsets, she saw the danger in the long shadows. She was quick to protect me, even when we were children, standing tall against boys twice her size who thought they could push us around. Life wasn't easy, but it was ours. The smell of fresh hay, the creak of the barn door, the crackle of our mother's cornbread in the oven, that was home. But the West has a way of tearing things apart, just when you think you've got your feet under you. It was betrayal that ruined us. A man named Samuel Hargrove, handsome, charming, dangerous in the way rattlesnakes are dangerous, came into our lives. I loved him, more than I'd ever loved anything. His voice was honey, his touch was wildfire. I believed every word he whispered, every promise he made under the starlight. But Samuel was never mine alone. I found out too late. He had debts, enemies, and a heart that loved power more than people. And when his lies caught up to him, it was Clara and me who paid the price. Part 2, Conflict and Connection. The night Samuel's gang turned on him, the bullets rained like a storm. One caught me low, tearing through my side. I fell from my horse, the world spinning in a haze of pain and dirt. Clara pulled me from the battlefield, dragging me across the rocks while gunfire cracked like thunder all around us. I don't know how she did it. Maybe it was love, maybe it was fury, but she got me out alive. From that night on, I could no longer walk. My legs, once strong from riding and dancing barefoot in the fields, were nothing but dead weight. And Clara, she never forgave Samuel, or the men who stood with him. Word spread that we were hiding Samuel, that we'd taken his side. But the truth was worse. Samuel had run, leaving us to face the fury of men he'd crossed. The town we'd grown up in, the neighbors who once shared meals and stories with us, turned their faces cold. Betrayal isn't just in one man's lies, it's in the silence of those who should ve stood beside you, but didn't. Weeks later, the sheriff came with 20 men at his back. They marched us down the street of Hollow Creek, past the shuttered windows and whispering mouths. The dirt was littered with fallen apples from the market, crushed beneath boots. My blood stained my dress fresh again from the wound that never healed right. And Clara, God bless her, held her pistol steady, daring anyone to take another step closer. "Back away," she shouted, her voice sharp enough to cut the silence. "You'll not take my sister while I still draw breath." The line of men didn't move. Their guns stayed raised, their fingers itching. And in that moment, I felt both pride and terror so deep it nearly drowned me. Pride for the sister who would face down a whole town for me. Terror because I knew this was the kind of story that rarely ended in mercy. Part 3, Resolution and Reflection. The standoff stretched like the endless prairie sky, still, breathless, heavy with what might come. My heart pounded so loud I thought the men could hear it. Clara's hand trembled, just once, and I reached up, touching her arm. "Don't," I whispered. "Don't throw your life away for mine." But Clara just leaned down, her dark eyes burning into mine. "You saved me once, when I was just a girl. You don't even remember, but I do. And I won't let them take you. Not now, not ever." I remembered then, faint and distant, the night she was trapped in the river current as a child, and I pulled her out with all the strength my little arms could give. She had carried that memory all her life, and now it was her turn. The sheriff finally stepped forward, his voice carrying low but strong. "Enough blood has been spilled, Clara. Let her go. You can walk away from this." But Clara knew, and I knew, that walking away was no longer an option. Samuel's betrayal had marked us both. We were guilty by love, guilty by blood, guilty by simply surviving when others wanted us gone. Clara's hand squeezed my shoulder, steady and sure. "If this is where it ends," she whispered, "then we end together." The guns clicked louder, dozens of hammers drawn back in unison. I closed my eyes, tasting the dust, the fear, the bittersweet love that tied us together. I thought of our childhood, of our mother's laugh, of the wild horses we once chased across the plains. And I realized something: the West could strip away everything, our home, our freedom, even the strength in my legs, but it could never take away the bond between sisters. When the first shot rang out, it echoed like thunder rolling through the canyon. But whether it was meant for us, or for mercy, I'll never truly know. All I know is that in that moment, with Clara's hand still on me, I felt peace. Because even if the world betrayed us, she never did. And that was enough. So if you ever ride through Hollow Creek and hear whispers of two sisters who faced down a whole town, remember this: loyalty is stronger than fear, love is deeper than betrayal, and sometimes the bravest stand a woman can make is not for herself, but for the one she loves more than life itself.